In the hands of some spellcasters, music was a force to fight evil rather than to promote it. The delicate harmonies of certain stringed instruments, for example, were known to soothe the restless evil in creatures of the night. The Celtic musician Calcha used the enchantment of his lute against 3 werewolves that had ravaged the flocks of his countrymen. Early one morning climbed to the peak of a steep cairn and began to play. A lyrical melody floated down of the forest and meadow, filling every hollow and glade, and penetrating the deepest caves where evil creatures hid from the sun. Calcha played on through all the hours of the morning and the afternoon. As evening drew on and the sun began to set, he saw 3 shapes, darker than dark, moving toward him. 3 she-wolves with glittering eyes crept through the shadows to lie at Calcha's feet, listening to the charmed music. Calcha knew that the evil in the beast, stilled only for the moment by his music, had to be destroyed. Yet such creatures could only be killed in their human form. Over the sound of his lute, Calcha spoke to the wolves, saying that music played by human hands was sweetest to human ears. After a moment, the animals rose on their hind legs. Their dark fur fell away from them. Before Calcha stood 3 women with pale, smooth skin, long, silky hair, and glittering wolves' eyes. While they paused, waiting to hear the yet more perfect music that Calcha had promised, the musician killed them. While stringed instruments conquered the human heart and wielded influence over evil spirits, instruments that were blown carried the most powerful magic into battle. With 7 blasts on 7 trumpets, the Israelites raised the mighty walls of Jericho in ancient Palestine. And centuries later, another wind instrument, the pipe, magically turned the tide of the battle in the war between the Mediterranean cities of Sabarsis and Croton. In the clear dawn air that morning, the sound of armies readying for battle, swords grasping into scabbards, helmets clanking against breastplates, the snorts and whinnies of the horses, curses of the men, carried sharply across the field. The men of Croton, outnumbered 3 to 1, clearly heard the brazen blast that called the Sybarites, superbly mounted and equipped horse soldiers, to arms. The Croton commander, Milon, knew that a victory on his battlefield would be his only by favor of the gods. Raising his eyes heavenward in supplication, he ordered his own call to arms. The trumpeter blew with practiced strength, but, strain as he might, no blast split the air. Again he blew, and again the gods stilled the blast. As the Sybarites advanced, Milon, in desperation, called the pipers forward to play his army into battle in the trumpeter's stead. The rollicking melody of the pipes produced an extraordinary effect. When the tune reached them, the Sybarites' horses broke the smooth stride of their gallop. Despite the spurs on their flanks and shouts in their ears, they skidded to a halt in the middle of the field, and then, in perfect rhythm to the pipers playing, the horses began to dance. Their dance was as full of flourishes as the piping, with graceful prancing punctuated by bucking and rearing. Riders fell to the ground and others dismounted and fled as the Croton troops closed on them. To the accompaniment of the charmed melody, the Sybarite army was routed.